All right, bruh, fans. Let me just say, episode 12 was the best episode of the three that were added to BET Plus last Thursday. Entitled Like the Wind, 9 out of 10. Seriously, this was a fantastic episode from start to finish. And it gets picked up on in episode 13, but I do feel like this was the standout of the group because if women were as straightforward in real life as particular characters were in this episode, I feel like a lot of time, money, emotions, and sadly heartbreaks could be saved right off the jump. So, my goodness, watch this episode. But before moving forward, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we get closer and closer to 200,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And remember, the name has been updated from the Haves and the Have-Nots review to Our Kind of Entertainment. So if you see Our Kind of Entertainment notifications, that means I have posted to the channel. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. So we pick up where we left off, and Miss Alice is freaking out because of the fact that she thinks she might be pregnant, because of the fact that she missed her period. And it's not that Greg doesn't care. It's just the fact that, ma'am, this is not what I signed up for. I got a date. I got to get up out of here. She doesn't want to be left alone and pretty much tells Greg to run to the store and get her a pregnancy test. And I'm just thinking to myself, what? Even though Greg rightfully says, look, I understand you're feeling off about missing your period, but instead of assuming the worst, why not just schedule an appointment at the hospital in order to determine if this is really the worst case scenario? You know, if what you think is really what's going on, as opposed to, you know, something else that might not be as bad as a pregnancy. So Greg is sent to the store to get a pregnancy test, and he actually does, because after the theme song he comes back. But let me just say this: if I were Greg, I would have called John and said, John, your mama need a pregnancy test, so on your way back from the bar, I don't know how you're getting back from the bar because I'm not going over to that side of town again tonight because I got a date. Pick up a pregnancy test for your mama. But Greg goes above and beyond. Maybe it's because Miss Alice left him no choice, or because he really remembered what Tom said about taking care of the bros, which unfortunately included Miss Alice, because this again was more than he bargained for. He comes back from the store at the test, and okay, Miss Alice gotta leave. No, I don't want you to stay. What? So he stays on the couch, and she offers him some brownies, and he doesn't want them, but she says take one anyway. Trust and believe. I was thinking about that 70s show about the special brownies because he took a bite. These are really good. And then when she's in the bathroom, go ahead, take another bite. I'm thinking, Greg, don't take another bite of that brownie. So he does, but spoiler alert, they weren't special brownies. At least that was not confirmed nor denied in episodes 12 or 13. So I'm thinking to myself, Greg out here driving, he's probably high as a kite. How is his date with the officer going to go if he's high? What's going on? But no, he apparently these were regular brownies, but no offense to Miss Alice, but I don't think I trust those brownies. I'm just saying. So she comes out, and actually, before she comes out of the bathroom, Greg calls Darla because of the fact that he knows he's going to be late due to the circumstances surrounding his evening, and she understands they push it back for an hour. And it's like, yeah, you know, a friend's mom needed a pregnancy test, and wait, Miss Alice? Wait, you know Miss Alice? Yeah, everybody at the precinct knows who she is. So she's on her way back to the apartment, and Miss Alice comes out. It turns out she's not pregnant, and from there he reveals that, well, you know, since you miss your period, it's possible that you're showing early signs of menopause, and she doesn't want to accept that because it means getting older. But he says, look, I know this isn't what you want to hear, but I'm going to set up an appointment for you at the hospital. That way you can get checked out, you know, just to make sure everything's okay. And even though she doesn't want him to, he finally puts his foot down like, Miss Alice, I gotta go. I need to leave. No, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. So I love the fact that this automatically outdoes the heart attack, which turned out to be gas joke, because that took up half a freaking episode. But this, if you combine the ending of the last episode with this scene from this episode, it was give or take maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And it was effective because of the fact that, you know, earlier this season, you got John admitting to the fact that, yeah, I do live with my mom and I'm not ready to pursue a relationship because I'm trying to stand on my own 2 feet. So it would have been an intriguing dynamic. I'm not saying I wanted Miss Alice to be pregnant, but I think that the concept would have been intriguing because while John is actually trying to work harder to get from underneath his mother's thumb and stand on his own in his own apartment or house or whatever, Miss Alice on the flip side would probably want him to stay for a change and realize how important he is to her, because if she's pregnant, she's going to need some help. I'm not knowing if she would have an abortion or not. I don't know, but let's just say she wasn't. So then he would be freaking out because he's going to be a big brother, and then Miss Alice would not be able to act like she's a 22-year-old anymore and have to mature. So it's interesting how John is told to man up and how he's a little boy and everything, but then Miss Alice is acting like a college student herself. But on the flip side, it's her not willing to accept her age. And then, not to quote R. Kelly, but age ain't nothing but a number, right? So really, for her, you're only as young as you feel. I feel like that's a safer statement to make. So I think that it would have been intriguing, but since it wasn't played up for too long, it worked. You know, like they could have, if this was like season 1, bruh, or I'll admit somewhat of early season 2, I could see this whole pregnancy thing being drawn out for like 2 episodes. But thankfully it did not. It was present in 2 episodes, the cliffhanger ending of episode 11 and the first few minutes of episode 12. And then we'll get a hilarious payoff in episode 13. So I think this was key writing and delivery, and I really, really enjoyed it. So let's move on to the next scene here, and that's John meeting up with Lydia at the bar. And she just got done with work, and she gets her boy Brian to serve them some drinks. But once again, like I said at the beginning of the video, a woman who knows what she wants and she's straightforward and upfront about her intentions. I'm celibate. I'm not having sex until I find a man who's worth it. And of course, John doesn't know what celibate is, and he goes on like a spiel about, you know, oh, you're selling it? And I'm not really here to talk about that, just because I was so impressed with Lydia being so upfront and honest that to me took over the scene as opposed to John's comedic timing and responses to what she was saying. But after drinks, we could take my motorcycle. Yeah, I got a bike. You can ride on the back and, you know, try to control yourself on the back. I mean, there's vibration. So that reminds me of that one scene from Family Guy where Peter's on the back of Cleveland's motorcycle and wait, Peter! It's like, oh, it's not you, it's the vibration. Trust me, that would have been a perfect cutaway, but I don't have time to edit that in. But ooh, oh well. But basically, she says, yeah, you know, we can, you know, hang out, we can chill, we can kick it, so get to know each other. If it works out, we'll, you know, keep on seeing each other, and eventually, if I feel like you're the guy, we'll have sex. But I gotta say, the night that you knocked out your friend, that turned me on. So you almost got some right then. Word? But I mean, this was such a great scene to get this kind of introduction to the character. And boy, oh boy, when we get to the next episode. But we go over to Bill and Regina having sex, and this dude is howling like a damn wolf. Seriously, when I was watching the episode, I thought about that one movie, Rock-a-Doodle-Doo. If you know that movie, it's an underrated animated film from back in the day, along with Thumbelina and The Secret of Nymph. Basically, it was about a rooster who was like a Elvis kind of character who was famous for his cock-a-doodle. It's like every time you would cock-a-doodle-doo, that means the sun came up, and it's a whole thing. Rock-a-doodle-doo, look it up. So, trust me, don't leave. I was going to put that in the video, but then I thought, wait, cock-a-doodle-doo is a cock joke when he was actually howling like a wolf or a dog. So men are dogs, and I guess you could say Bill felt like the leader of the pack. So they pretty much just talked for a little bit, and turns out, you know, he brings up Peter and the fact that she really loved him, but Bill can't believe she would pick Peter over him. And she's like, look, the way you're trying to compete and, make yourself the alpha male, that kind of like lets me know moving in probably isn't the best idea right now, because she just doesn't want to date Bill. She isn't trying to not be in a committed relationship. So Bill decides to take it next level and pulls out a ring. And I'm like, wait a minute. So this was kind of spoiled because of that Bill promo where he pretty much, proposes, and Regina's like, let's get married tomorrow. And then he's going around talking with Greg and then John. And then she walks in on him as soon as he says, I'm not ready to get married. And I'm like, ooh, because in season 1, when the guys or let's not even say Mike, because Mike was like, hey, he's a grown man, let him do what he's going to do. And John and Tom were trying to talk sense, and I was like, you're going to sabotage a wedding. You know that if you do this, what are you expecting? Because if she doesn't marry Peter, she's going to expect to marry you, because she's already at that level of commitment, given the fact that she's in her dress and, her gown right now. So, Bill, if you really want to pursue Regina, you ought to know that you shouldn't do it, not only because it's messed up how you're going about it, but are you doing it for the right intentions? And if so, are you prepared to settle down? Basically, she's your one and only. Yeah, man, I'm ready. Oh boy. So he pulls out the ring, and he doesn't want to get on one knee, but basically she accepts, and then they go at it again. So we go over to the Darla and Greg date, and they decide to order takeout, and just relax, because it turns out they've been thinking about each other all day. And he asks if she likes jazz, and she's like, oh, no, you overheard me playing jazz from my apartment down the hall. Don't be slick. What is that? No. While I'm on the phone ordering the food, you take the remote, put on the music, and you'll see it was the last thing I was listening to. So, yeah. First of all, you got Greg being Uber and DoorDash, and now he's actually ordering takeout, and this makes me miss my apartment even more. So things escalate pretty damn quickly, and it's appropriate that these episodes dropped on a Thursday, because Greg was definitely showing signs of a man on Thirsty Thursday. So he asked Darla, hey, would you like a drink? And she's like, yeah, what do you want? I can go ahead and get the drinks for us. And he's like, I want you in bed. Wait, what? So she's like, wait a minute. Just so you know, I don't just hop in bed with guys I just meet, or the fact that, what if we do hook up, then what? Is it just a hit and quit it? And I'm afraid you'll leave. And I'm thinking to myself, I was waiting for Greg to say something like, well, I'm not going to leave. I'm still going to stay here down the hall. I don't know why, but I was expecting him to say that. But I guess that's more of a Mike thing than a Greg thing. So he mentions the fact about, him being divorced and the divorce being finalized about a week. But from there, he's been checked out mentally and emotionally from this marriage for about 2 years. And, with things like miscommunication and not, her not really liking his interest, it really didn't work out. And to be honest, I was expecting Darla to, put her shoes on, just leave. Like, what, maybe this was a mistake, because she doesn't want to be the rebound, despite the way that Greg was talking. It seriously sounded like she was a rebound, this was a one-night stand, and that was it. But from there, it shifts gears to, let's order takeout. How about a drink? I want to have sex with you. Wait a minute, I don't want to go there. I'm divorced. To, how about we dance? Wait, what? I love the scene, though. It's kind of like, okay, there are levels to this. So when they're dancing, she's like, and here they say chivalry is dead. And then Greg says, not romance. I wanted to get up and give this dude a standing ovation, but it was 3:30 in the morning and everybody was asleep, so I couldn't do that. But I was like, bro, this dude must be parquet, because of the fact that it was so smooth. It was like butter. And I say like butter because I do believe parquet is technically margarine. It depends on how you say it. I don't know. But either way, this was hell of a scene. Smooth. I got to use that line at some point if I ever date someone. Eventually. I don't know. But overall, we get over to the last scene. And Pam comes over to Mike's place. And she is pissed because of the fact that he had her followed. And she's like, why the hell would you do something like that? And he's like, well, you know, I ain't got to worry about that anymore. Why? What do you mean? Because you can move in with me. And she's like, the hell if I am. So she pretty much asks, you know, why have you been all over the place emotionally like the wind? You know, 1 minute you're this way, the next minute you're that way. And then the cliffhanger, this dude drops the bombshell of, I have a cocaine problem. I'm like, Rrr? Didn't see that coming. But this was a great episode, as you can tell from the review. I mean, I really had a good time with this one. The fact that you have women like Lydia and Darla who are upfront about their intentions, no games. They let it be known that this is where I stand. And if you understand my boundaries and limitations, we're going to be cool. But if not, then I could just walk away right now. Greg thinks he's slick, what he kind of is. And then you got John who, you know, wait till next episode to find out about him. But yeah, great utilization of characters. We're 2 episodes in, and overall, I think the pacing of these episodes has been far better than other ones. You know, back in like season 1 and sometimes the season 2, where one half of an episode would be in one location and then the other half of the episode would be in another location. So sometimes episodes are limited to 1 or 2 locations, and they spend 10 to 12 minutes in those scenes, which could only last 3 or 4 if it was paced correctly. But 2 episodes in, and I'm pleased. But I'll go over more of that once I do. I'll probably do like an overview video talking about my thoughts on all 3 episodes at once. But yeah, best of the 3, 9 out of 10. Let me know if you agree in the comment section below. Also, make sure you like and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier before. And if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.